So the Cleons are clones, but real-world twin studies tell us that clones are the same. Is that right?
We're supposed to be interchangeable, and it is just not true anymore.
I doubt it ever was. A person is a person.
We're supposed to.
So my question is, he says we're supposed to be interchangeable. And I think like a quick reading of the twin studies in real life tell us that clones, twins, have a lot of the same behaviors. But how much does... Because interchangeable means like they do the exact same thing, but everybody has a different environment they grew up in.
I guess.
And so
first,
are the different... Go ahead.
Can you motivate me to why you think the twins would be clones at all?
Well, what are twins? So there's two types of twins. There's fraternal twins and identical twins.
Identical, yeah.
Fraternal twins are like two. They're like siblings in that they have two sets of DNA from their parents.
Yeah.
Whereas identical twins, it's the same DNA, exactly the same DNA. Somehow, like the cells split and became two people.
So if I remember, if I can understand what you're saying, it's like there were two eggs for fraternal twins. There were two eggs and a whole bunch of gyms, and then they got inseminated at the same time, so they developed just simultaneously. Whereas identical twins they look the same because there really was one egg that split somehow and then multiplied. So they really have the same DNA.
They have the same DNA. So in a sense, I mean, I think they actually are clones of each other, in the sense like same DNA, two different individuals.
Not scientific clones, but natural clones.
Natural clones.
Okay.
So you could use twin studies, which are studies of identical twins in different environments, to see how much they are similar.
Yeah.
And I think the twin studies say they are very similar in many ways, have similar interests and different things, but they're not exactly the same.
Right.
So here, Dusk is saying that we should be interchangeable. But is that true? You have clones, but they have different environments they're growing up in. You know, different times, different power structures. Yeah, they're still in the same palace, the same Demerzel, but like times change.
Yeah,
so they're not interchangeable, right?
To make it, I guess, to flesh it out inside the Foundation universe. That's why they do all these like meal times are exactly identical. They're having a cultural, a nature versus nurture. So a nurture influence where they're trying to like standardize their personalities.
Right.
But what you said is that time is moving forward. So each Cleon goes through his childhood in the climate, the social climate, political climate of the galaxy. And so that informs how their daytime feels like, and then also the dusk. So while they may be genetically identical, their nurture aspect of the personalities will be different, because even if they're in the same palace with the same Demerzel, but like everything around that is different. A little bit different, and that would change who they are.
So there could be an explanation. They're calling dusk. They're heavily implying dusk day. They're saying that the genetic dynasty is degrading, which is a heavy implication that the DNA is somehow degrading. But maybe the DNA is the same. They're just still clones. Yeah. But the Cleon personality heavily matched the situation 600 years ago. And in today's world, meaning when they're talking, the Cleon personality, whatever that means, doesn't match.
Right. This actually, the damaged DNA might lead to the correct personality as needed for this day.
That's right.
For this time, yeah.
So they may be misinterpreting as like it's actually perfection in cloning is causing a degradation in effectiveness because times are changing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So could we look up twin studies? And I'm curious about like how similar twins actually are.
It's twin studies. Twin studies are crucial for the nature-nurture debate, using identical and fraternal twins to separate genetic and environmental differences on traits, diseases, and behaviors. By comparing twins who share 100% or identical, who share identical or fraternal genes, 50%, and comparing their environments, shared versus unique, researchers can determine the degree to which genetic factors, nature, or environmental factors, nurture, contribute to a trait's development. Okay. Let's slow this down a bit. So I can imagine two types of studies here. One is the identical. So you're like identical twins separated at birth. Like do they end up growing up to be similar jobs, similar clothing, similar partners, whatever. And then there's fraternal twins who who stay together, so they have the similar environment, like the same household growing up, but definitely different genes, or half different genes.
So can we just like skip down to maybe where it says something about key insights? Here we go.
Key insights. Separating nature and nurture. When a trait shows similar patterns in identical twins raised apart, it indicates that the trait is largely determined by genetics.
Okay.
Identifying gene-environment interactions. By observing both shared and differing outcomes between twins, researchers can understand how genes okay, yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding hereditability. These studies reveal how much okay, that's kind of a generic statement as well. Also a generic statement.
Are there any? I thought there would be like percentages, like their twins are identical in behavior 60% of the time, and 40% of the time they do different things. Is that where? I thought that would be easily summarizable insights. I guess not.
Maybe here.
Interesting. Okay.
Nature, promising. Twin-specific shared environments. Go here. Assorted mating. What is this?
What is this?
Variance in AE explained. This is the dangers of just looking at the picture.
Yeah. Okay. I think we should stop here. Maybe we can do a science recording about this.
Hey,
yeah,
that'd be cool.
Because this is interesting stuff, and I thought it was going to be easily like twins act the same most of the time, but it seems like it's not easily summarizable. Interesting. Okay. Which makes me think that if they're talking about clones with Cleon, they are identical genetics-wise, but it's not easy to summarize that they're just going to do the same thing every time. And the environment has a large impact. And so the degradation in the imperial effectiveness might actually just be the galaxy changing. That's going to be my conclusion.
Yep. And the degradation of the genetic dynasty might actually be a boon.
Might actually be a boon, yeah.